So, the 2019-2020 Washington Wizards. I like them. I actually like them. Who would have thought? Okay, there might be a little bias here, but whatever. Typically, having a 2-game win streak is not really exciting for many franchises that are competitive or attempting to make the playoffs. But these Wizards are not of that format or of that ilk necessarily, unless they continue their positive win totals. Then we will have different conversations. These Wizards are actually fun and exciting in a whole different way, and that's because the lack of expectations. You see this beautiful thing here? You see how it doesn't exist? And you see how suddenly your stress regarding the game is still probably the same when you lose by 1 to James Harden anyway. The Wizards are essentially rebuilding on the fly, as a famous Atlanta Hawks general manager said once, we're retooling while winning, or something like that. I can't remember what it was specifically. That's the reason I don't feel as cynical about the Wizards as I did back in those younger days where I was so excited, and then it just slowly whittled down until I became a great man about this team. And now I'm starting to reclaim some of my youth again with this team, and I think it's because the lack of expectations. Again, it's so helpful because this team is made up of a considerable amount of young people and very few in-between veterans, even including Bradley Beal. So, there wasn't necessarily always a lack of expectations for the Wizards because most of the season so far, people expected us to be garbage at everything. And they also expected another very, very huge thing that didn't happen. Moving Bradley Beal. Everyone in the mainstream media continued that there was a car that interrupted me. Everyone in the mainstream media was very, very demonstrative about Bradley Beal needing to move and the Wizards needing to move him before he moved himself. And everyone kept talking, and of course Brad did say his own things about basically wanting to stay a Wizard, and the only way he would leave if they traded him. He's not really worried about the business aspect because at the time we were still measuring his extension. Everyone was like just waiting for it to happen, and that's what we as Wizards fans were pretty much like, oh my god, we're gonna have to watch Bradley Beal leave, and then Wall's gonna come back by himself on like 3 crutches or something, because 3 crutches makes sense. That didn't happen. Instead, Bradley actually signed he extended himself for 2 years, which is awesome. So now the only cloud that would have existed over the team is gone, because now we pretty much wait for Wall as Beal becomes more of an all-star and the rest of the rookies come in the fold. And let me tell you, these rookies that we drafted, we're only playing one of them out of the 3 because we also traded for a couple other young guys, Mo Wagner, Isaac Bonga. So with this young core, the rookie that we signed, Rui Hachimura, has been a wonderful surprise. He's incredibly deft in the post and has a lot of comfort and feel in there, and his mid-range game is pretty good. And the good thing about it too is that he's not tethered to just that. He actually will shoot a 3, and you don't have to wait multiple seasons for him to decide he's going to shoot a 3. This is not a diss towards a certain Simmons. Rui being nice and decent and just not horrible is a wonderful thing, especially considering a lot of us, I want to say, really were like hoping we'd get like Cam Reddish, and just the news surrounding him as a rookie was not really pleasant, because when the first thing you hear after you drafted a guy is that you didn't even talk to the guy, it just makes me worried. So thanks for proving me wrong so far. I enjoy it, and please continue to do so. Well, now I'm like more like, I think you can be better. So anyway, Mo Wagner's been wonderful. He takes a lot of charges, but he fouls way too much, and it's infuriating. But he does take a lot of charges, so I guess you can call him, I'm gonna steal this from Reddit, I'm sorry Reddit, Mo Battery Wagner. yeah, I'm just as cringy as Drew Gooden's commentary. It's okay. With this young core that we have developing alongside with Rui, Mo Wagner, Isaac Bonga occasionally spotting in as a wing, I thought they would use him as a really big point guard, but I forgot he's like 6'8", so you can just throw him as a wing in there. He hasn't had too many like strikeout games, like incredible games, but it's just nice to have young players that are playing hard and enjoy being on this team. And it seems like every time anybody makes a play, the bench is losing their minds with excitement, and that is the thing that makes this team so enjoyable. Not only the bursting youth and the wily mix of veterans, which some of which cannot play defense to save their lives, but it's the resilience in this team. Despite the fact that, you know, people have said consistently the Wizards would not be a team that could win games consistently or even win 20 games, I feel like we can maybe eclipse that just a bit. This team is incredibly resilient. There is never a time where we're down that I feel, oh, we're just going to lose this game. Now, the games that we got blown out, of which I will not speak because they are cursed and haunted and left to history to burn forever outside of my memory space, because I actually haven't seen these games. This team will go down like 5 or 10 and then be like, no, stop. No, I am not going to die. This is only the second quarter. And yes, I'm slightly roasting the old iterations of the Wizards that had an arrogance about them that they didn't even earn, because we had only gotten to the second round of the playoffs like 3 times. And every time we got close, we would lose. But somehow we thought we had won the title, so now we could do what LeBron teams do, and that's be like, I feel like winning in the fourth quarter. Just let them go up 10. They think they're okay, 20, right? And we're gonna come back. Wizards would do that and be like, yeah, let's let them go up 20. Wait, we can't stop them. You still make it crap. No, okay, we lost. We just gotta try harder next time. Those guys didn't even really win the game, even though they literally won the game, So that iteration of the Wizards was just torture. And it was more torturous due to expectations. So the fact that this team has a lack of expectations, incredible resiliency, a core full of youth and fun, and some wily veterans that make it hard to play defense sometimes, make this team really fun. I mean, we literally had a Jordan McRae game-sealing steal because his team wanted to try and give me a free heart attack when they just started turning over the ball as if somebody just started playing 2K and was like, well, I'm up like 7, and it's like 40 seconds or 30 seconds left. They're not going to come back. And the next thing you know, the Hall of Fame CPU is like, I will hit 2 threes. Don't test me. And the fact that we still pull that game out, despite the team, like Charlotte Hornets, I felt like every time the ball went up, I just kept seeing it go through the net, and I was like, please stop. Like, it was just insane. This is not a recap. This is just me talking about my overall view of the Wizards, and I really like what we have so far. There are some, like I said before, defensive deficiencies that will plague this team. We have IT. I'm not gonna put it at his feet, even though I've been kind of sprinkling little remarks. I'm not putting it at his entire feet. Scott Brooks likes to randomly run 2-3 zone. I don't know why. I think he's gone away from it recently, but just the fact that he was even trying to do that, and then his weird thing where he keeps using the coach's challenge immediately. I'm like, dude, manage your load. You only got one of those. So please stop doing it right now. I feel as though Scott Brooks is not necessarily the coach that's going to get these guys over the hump. The team is responding and playing well with him in tow. So I will not say that, we should replace him. I would just say that if we can get better, we should. Bradley Beal's on a scoring tear, and it seems as though the Wizards are going to continue to be a feisty, scrappy team that will not die. And I appreciate that a lot more than the teams that felt like they didn't have to try. So these Wizards so far are incredibly enjoyable. Let's go, Wizards. Let's go. BC is rising. So, Well, this guy says, I hope that the Wizards get more wins. I hope that I can just keep saying after every game, we've acquired another Wingardium Leviosa! I came up with that one myself. Pretty good.